I can't believe that this is actually released. Hey, what's up everyone, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic, because another video. In this video today, we are back talking once again about Sonic Movie 4. Now I know, once again, Movie 3 isn't even, I think actually by the time I'm releasing this video, it's officially a month old at this point. It's been out for a month. And we will be talking about the movie soon, with the film officially releasing on digital today. If you guys want to, you can spend your money and watch Sonic Movie 3 from the comfort of your Apple TV or your iPhone or what have you. You don't only have to go to a theater anymore to watch the movie. It's now available at home. And alongside of that, a lot of material has been releasing and spoilers are just out there now. And we will talk about more Sonic Movie 3. I plan on doing some videos very soon this week about the deleted scenes and stuff like that. But there's something very significant that is released that is sending people into a shockwave rightfully. And that is 2 pieces of concept art that very well could give us an idea as to what Sonic Movie 4 is going to hold and what we could have seen in Sonic Movie 3. The 2 pieces that we're going to be looking at today have massive implications for what can come in the future in Sonic Movie 4. So without any further ado, we're going to take a look at the first 2 and then dive into all of the smaller ones after, because we all know why you guys are here, so let's cut to the chase. First up, we have this piece of concept art featuring Amy Rose. This looks incredible, she looks amazing, and as I'm sure you guys are aware, her design looks very different in this as opposed to what it is in the actual movie itself. We see her wielding her giant Pico Pico hammer, and her outfit is different. In the actual movie itself, she's covered in this cloak, which I really like actually. I think that adds a very cool touch to her. It was a very nice reveal once when she took it off, but of course if you're a Sonic fan, you knew exactly who that character was. But we get a little more of the shoe design. I'm interested in seeing if this is going to translate over into Sonic Movie 4 itself. It almost looks like she's wearing boxing boots with all the laces and stuff. It's very lace heavy, which is interesting. Very different from what she typically wears, where it's just a normal boot. But I like kind of turning that white strip in front of her boot into just laces. I think that's a nice touch. I like how they handle the shoes and the boots in the Sonic movies and translating that from the games to that. I think they do a really good job. And she's standing on top of what appears to be a giant robotic Sonic, with Sonic kind of looking on in complete and utter shock, which is funny. And then if you look around at the image itself, it's just a very bleak environment. You see a decayed tree, the sky is red, there seems to be some kind of factory in the background. This is very clearly a dark future. And while we will return to this picture to look more at it, this is further confirmed by the next picture, which I think is even more interesting. And that is this image right here of what appears to be Dr. Eggman standing next to Metal Sonic. If it wasn't obvious before, I think it's obvious now that this movie was going to have a post-credit scene where Sonic would have somehow wound up in a bad future where Eggman has taken over with a robotic Sonic by his side and Amy's now there helping out. Maybe this is an alternate dimension. We won't really actually know what their initial plan was unless maybe somebody asked in an interview and they're willing to give the answer, but clearly wanted to do something a little less lore heavy for the post-credits in the end, with us still getting Amy and Metal Sonic, but with it taking place in a park in New York opposed to some apocalyptic dark future where now Eggman rules and has Metal Sonic by his side, and it's just one Metal Sonic. As we saw, there was a whole army in the actual post-credit scene. But let's get back to the picture itself. One of the biggest things I think that we can look at is the fact that Eggman is there in it. We've talked about this a lot. I made a video not too long ago talking about how Dr. Eggman very well likely could pop up in Sonic Movie 4. I feel like you really do need him in Sonic Movie 4 at this point. He is just such a star and really steals the show whenever he's on screen in these movies. I think you need Eggman for Sonic Movie 4, but at the same time, it's like that's still not a guarantee. It wasn't a guarantee for 3 that you'd get Jim Carrey back, and it's not going to be a guarantee for 4, but there are positive signs pointing towards it happening. But you can't, put Jim Carrey's Eggman in a post-credit scene if you don't have him already signed up, locked up for the next movie. So that's probably why you didn't get this scene in particular, with it showing this king-like Eggman who's now ruling over the Earth or whatever planet it may be, wearing this very Eggmanified coat with a bunch of statues of Eggman on these angels and these gods carrying around his little egg drones. It's so cute. And then in the distance in the background, you can very clearly see that's so Sonic CD, very Sonic CD inspired. That's just a bad future. And clearly they're setting up for some kind of Sonic CD exploration going on in the story for the next film, with of course Metal Sonic being there as well. With us getting a good look at his design. In the movie itself, it looks very, very faithful to the actual Metal Sonic that we get in the games. It's actually kind of funny, and all the new interpretations of Sonic that we get, Metal Sonic always looks the same. Same applied in Sonic Boom. I don't know what it is. I really like the Metal Sonic design in this image in particular, opposed to what we actually got in the post-credits. I'm hoping that by the time movie 4 comes along and they make the design adjustments, that it looks more closely to this than it does in the end of Sonic movie 3. When I saw Metal Sonic at the end of Sonic movie 3, obviously it's like, yeah, that's Metal Sonic, that's very cool, but at the same time it's like, that looks like Metal Sonic from Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games, you know? It's just like, it's so accurate. This has a lot of differences, a lot of details that are a part of it that I really like and make it more movie-ified. And of course, if you guys have been watching the movies, the design adjustments are made from post-credit to the actual movie. Like, if you watch the end of Sonic movie 1, Tails looks very different in movie 2 than he does at the end of movie 1. Same applies with Shadow. There are a lot of design different changes made with the character from end of the movie 2 to movie 3, and I'm sure the same will apply with Metal Sonic, and also Amy. I'm sure she'll look a little different. I think Amy looks perfect from what we saw of her in movie 3, so I hope that they don't make too many changes to her character design, but usually whenever they do make tweaks, it's for the best. It, you know, usually ends up in the character looking better than they did in their initial reveal, so I hope that applies to movie 4 with Amy, Metal Sonic, but particularly Metal Sonic. I know there's some differences with the character in its design. It's not literally a straight rip from the games, but it looks so close to being so I hope that Metal Sonic can look closer to this piece of concept art right here. I think that'd be sick. So outside of us getting actual pieces of concept art for Amy and Metal Sonic, what does this actually mean? And I think it's pretty obvious. The end of Sonic movie 3, according to this concept art, was initially going to set up the next movie to take place in a dark alternate, either reality, future, where Eggman now rules the earth and it's just gone completely decayed. And what game is very much like that? Of course, Sonic CD, the game where Amy and Metal Sonic are introduced. Now, hear me out. This could very well likely mean that this is where they plan on taking Sonic movie 4 in the future. That they're going to just do an adaptation of Sonic CD, where Sonic and Amy team up to take down Eggman and Metal Sonic to stop some kind of dark future, or are in some kind of dark future. We'll see what happens. But also, I think a lot of people need to remember this. A lot of times concept art is really just done by, well, concept artists. You get a rough idea of what they're going for with the movie, but a lot of the times the concept art doesn't adhere entirely to the script or what will actually end up happening in the movie. This is done for multiple different films, not just the Sonic movies. So the concept artist could have very well just been playing around with these two images, and this was never actually a plan for Sonic movie 4. It wasn't like Patrick Casey, Josh Miller, and Jeff Fowler sat down with concept artists and was like, hey, we plan on doing a dark future with Sonic and Amy and Metal Sonic for the next Sonic movie, so make some concept art for us. That most likely didn't happen, but you never know, that also could be the case. I don't want to say definitively look forward to this being the story of Sonic movie 4, because this very well, once again, is just concept art. It's not exactly what the movie's going to hold, but also don't rule out the possibility. Sonic movie 4 could very well be about Sonic and Amy stopping Eggman and Metal Sonic from creating a dark future. One of the biggest reasons I have reservations, though, is because at the end of movie 3, we see Sonic end up in, you know, a normal New York area with a bunch of different armies of Metal Sonic and one Amy in a cloak, and ended up being very different from what we got in that concept art. So I'm sure that Sonic movie 4 will be very different from this concept art images as well. I would be open to it. I think that'd be a little bit of whiplash going that crazy with, you know, a dark future where there's a bunch of Metal Sonics, and now there's Girl Sonic who's there, and now there's, you know, Shadow's back, and like all of these different characters pop up. I think that might be hard for an audience to adjust to, might not be as accessible. We'll see what they choose to do and go for in the future with this franchise, but you got a lot of pieces to go with. I don't know if we're going to go into future or time travel or alternate realities, but I could very well see it playing a role, especially because I hope that they do eventually get into time travel and stuff like that with 5, you know, with Silver and stuff. So maybe it'd be a cool element to at least introduce and not entirely flesh out just yet. But yeah, those are the two big pieces of concept art I want to talk about, but there are other pieces of concept art as well that I wanted to discuss. Some of these have been floating around for a bit now, but we have all of them now. We have Super Sonic and Super Shadow fighting over the space colony arc, over the world as it's destroying it. Obviously that didn't happen in the movie. That would have been bad, but still a very cool piece of art regardless. We have Shadow looking at Maria. This piece is amazing. I really want them to do like an Art of Sonic movie 3 book or something like that, or the entire Sonic movie trilogy that we have thus far. The concept art's amazing for not just, you know, this movie, but all the movies, so this is beautiful. You have Knuckles and Tails riding on this little moped away from this giant boulder filled with cars and trees, and yeah, I'm not surprised that that didn't happen in the movie. That would have been, you know, catastrophic. You have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles escaping from something. They seem to be in this desert area with quicksand and all of this floating around. Very cool piece of art, once again. You have Ivo and Gerald facing off on the Space Colony arc Looks very cool. And then a piece of concept art of Jim Carrey being discovered by Sonic and friends watching his telenovela. Also, we have this sick piece of concept art of Gerald and Ivo invading Gun Base, which is so cool. They look amazing in this image. This is incredible. This is like kind of just like, if I imagine this as a kid, like my brain would explode. It looks so cool. The shot of Shadow and Maria sitting on the moon overlooking Earth, which is very interesting. I think that this is more just for, you know, aesthetics, because I don't know how Maria would survive up there, but we got shots similar to this with them, you know, overlooking the stars and stuff in the actual movie, so it's still very cool that it ended up translating into the movie in some form. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles along with Commander Walters at the Chow Garden, which is so cute. This looks amazing. Sonic and Tails are just exhausted and Knuckles is just enjoying his food. And here we have just the Wachowski family hanging out. This is beautiful. You know, you got Maddie hugging Sonic while he's, you know, cooking a chili dog, and you got Tom hanging out with Knuckles and Tails while I think it's very funny that Knuckles is trying to roast grapes, which is very fun. Also, Tails looks so cute with his little hat on. That's adorable. You have some concept art of the black hole scene, which is very cool. And also we have this shot right here of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles discovering Eggman in a house. It was discussed how instead of London, they were going to have Sonic and friends find him in Mexico, but they ended up not going forward with that because it's just having too many different locations, fixing up the pacing a bit, so they ended up going forward with that, but this is just what they would have seen. Looks like Knuckles has some groceries, which is nice. This awesome shot of Super Sonic and Super Shadow overlooking the Space Colony Arc, which looks awesome. And then we have this shot right here of Eggman and Sonic, who are kidnapped by Gerald and Shadow. Very cool shot, as once again, it's always great seeing Sonic and Eggman team up in any piece of media, really, even though they're always very short-lived. But there you guys have it. Those are all the pieces of concept art, but this is where I pass it off to you guys and ask what you think. What do you think about those two pieces of concept art in particular of Amy and Metal Sonic / Eggman in a dark future? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Is that what we're going to see in Sonic Movie 4, or do you think it's going to be something slightly different? Love to know what you guys have to say. Feel free to follow my social media links to my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. You can follow those behind the scenes of my life, future content, and all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic, whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comics, merchandise, and more. We talk about it all. We have a lot more Sonic Movie 4 videos, Movie 3 videos, other Sonic related videos, because Sonic Racing Crossroads is still coming out this year. We have a lot of original content coming. I have some really fun, exciting stuff for you guys this year. It's gonna be a very fun time for the channel. I love all of you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
And be right by the motherfucking seaside, dog. Everything I see, I got a dream. I thought these leaves would go and take me out the dark. I know everything I wanted to find.